On today's video, we are going to be looking at an issue of loose battery terminals. You can see how this one, you can just swing around. Also on this one, same issue. Now these are fully tightened, but they still remain loose. Very common issue on top post batteries, especially if you have some aftermarket battery terminals like I do on this vehicle. It's a very common issue. Some of the batteries tend to have a little bit of a smaller posts on them, and even if you fully tighten these, they just don't get tight enough. And if you keep tightening these, you'll eventually end up breaking the terminal and having to replace that. Kind of like this one I have here. You can see how the terminal is broken from here just from over tightening, and it still remains loose. Now fortunately there is an easy fix for that. The very first thing we'll do is loosen up these bolts and remove the terminals from the battery. Using our 10mm wrench, we'll go ahead and loosen up the terminal. It's always a good idea to remove the negative battery cable first. Once that's removed, that way when you're removing the positive, if you happen to hit other metal with your wrench at the same time, it's not going to spark or arc on you. So we'll get both of these terminals loosened up and removed. Now that we have both of our terminals off, I do have a cloth wrapped around the positive cable since I have dual batteries on this system. So here are some things you'll need. I have a battery brush here to clean the terminals on the battery. I have some felt pieces. So these really do help to absorb the acidic vapors from the battery acid to keep things nice and clean so they don't corrode. And the fix for our terminal are going to be these shims. These are super cheap, easy to do. And I will obviously be replacing one of the broken terminals on this also. So let's get started. You want to take your battery brush and you want to clean the terminal the best you can. Kind of like so. You want to do both of them. Also, you can flip the brush over just like this and clean the inside of these terminals on both of them. If you notice a lot of the green corrosive stuff on your battery, you can always take solution of baking soda and water and just dump it on the battery. Use a brush to clean it, and then you can wipe it off with a clean rag. Once we're satisfied that they're both clean, now we can take our shims and put them right over our battery posts. And I've already done that on this one. Once the shims are on the posts, we can go ahead and install our felt pieces right over them. Again, that'll help to keep things clean and corrosion free. So now we can go ahead and install our terminals back on. I was able to install the terminals right over the shims. Now they're nice and tight. No more looseness issues. So that does take care of them. This vehicle does again have dual batteries, so I'll have to do the same thing on the other side. And I was able to replace the broken terminal on this side. Now you can kind of see with this one, as they get over tightened, they tend to break. And you can see the break right here on this side. And I did also notice it's actually a lot easier to put the new terminal on with these shims than the original, since they're already stretched and bent in a different way. But I was able to get them on. No more looseness issue. Everything is nice and tight the way they're supposed to be. Also, if you're having issues putting these on, I found a socket that goes just right over the terminal, and using a rubber hammer or even a heavier hammer will get them on nice and tight. So this project is completed. Hopefully I've helped somebody out. I will put all these parts in the description for you. I thank you for watching.